Hi there, it's Sam from poodles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one, and this is my succulent garden tent. Now, I made this a couple of years ago with some beautiful paper we had at the time called Into the Woods. So I made a tent because you go into the woods and maybe you do some camping, so I made a tent. And because I wanted to make it again, I thought, camping in the garden, my boys like to do that. So this is my succulent garden tent, and it's a really cute box. So what you do is you slide the designer series paper off, and that leaves you with your box, so you can fit loads of treats and goodies in it. And then the paper just slides back on again. So actually you could just make that, wrap some ribbon around, and there you go. But I like it with this beautiful tent overlay. So I'm going to show you how you make it, and you can get 2 of these from 1 sheet of cardstock, because your cardstock measures 11 by 4 inches, which is 28 by 10 centimetres. Now this one was mint macaron with this beautiful paper from Succulent Garden. I'm going to use the same paper again, but with sweet sugar plums, so I'm going to see how it looks. No idea what it's going to look like. I think it'll look gorgeous. Right, on the long side, score it at 3.5, 5 1/4, 8 3/4, and 10.5 inches, which in metric is 9, 13.5, 22.5, and 27. Is that right? Yes, that's right. And then you're going to make little tick marks at 4 3/8 of an inch and 9 5/8 of an inch, which in metric is 11 1/4 and 24 3/4. Now these little tick marks, we're going to use them up here to get to score line. So turn these to the left. So those must be on the left hand side, because we're going to score again at 2 3/4 on the short side, which is 7 inches. So that's going to create the base. So that's why that needed to be on the left hand side. I don't know if you can see the ticks. And so I'm going to get my ruler, and I'm going to score from this tick mark down to there and down to there to create the triangle, which is this part. Move that out of the way. Now I've got the cat under my desk. She was on my lap. This is my second recording of this because I read my notes wrong and scored in the wrong place, and she's actually got off my lap since. Doesn't mean she's not getting back up again. Right, fold and burnish these straight score lines, and I'm going to come in and do the diagonal lines. So, as I said before, from that tick mark down to there and down to there. So again, nice strong ruler. Steel ruler is always good. If you haven't got one, buy one or steal one from the person in your house who does the DIY, because they've probably got one. This was stolen from my husband, and every now and again he comes and pinches it back, which I think is frankly outrageous. There we go, so that's my score lines in. But don't worry about bending those just yet. You can if you want, but they will naturally go when you build the box. So, a few little bits to take away. Actually, there's one tiny bit to take away. Trim off, sort of just mitre up that top corner. Let me sort out this charm, it's going to get tangled. And then we're going to take this little skinny section away. And then just cut up the 3 remaining lines. So that's what you're left with. So I've got a little bit wedged off there and there, and then these are all separated. So grab some nice strong adhesive. This is my fuse. Onto that tab and fold over, and because all the sides are exactly the same, you can just press down. That's now my back. Fold in 2 sides and the back, and then this part here. Whoops. And as you can see, it's open slightly there, so it's worth putting a bit of adhesive just on those outer edges. So this one is the back, so just on those bits there, which if I tip it, they will line up with there. And then as you can see on this bit, I haven't put glue all the way along because it would end up in that part. So again, just on the outer edges and all the way along that edge. Fold it over. And just grab your bone folder and then just make sure it's all stuck down. And I've lost my front now. There's the front, and it will just pinch close like that, and that's how you get your tent, because I have put all my score lines in already. Love it. Right, piece of designer series paper, 3.5 by 8 inches. So it is exactly the same pattern that I used before. and you start, because it's the right width, I haven't put score lines in, we're gonna wing it with the score lines. Start at the bottom, hold it in place and just gently, whoops, fold it round. And just keep pinching. And you don't want to make it super tight because you want it to be able to slide on and off. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come along and reinforce these just with my fingers. Double check that it will slide on okay. Which it will, and that will slide. So I want to put a little tab of adhesive along here. So I'm just going to go across the bottom edge. And like I say, make sure you're not going to do it too tight. You want it to be able to slide on and off, which it's doing. Quite liking that with the sweet sugar plum. I think that's quite fun. Right, let's do a little bit of stamping. So I've got one of my very favourite stamp sets. It's called Happy Happenings. I generally only use a few from these, from this particular set, but that's okay. I've used them so much that it's value for money. So I'm going to take this lovely thank you, which is there. Look, it's upside down. Grab a block. Which one have I got? C block. And I've got my sweet sugar plum ink. Onto there. I'm going to keep this out because I'm going to do some sponging. So I've got my 1.5 inch circle punch, really versatile. And actually, when I was prepping, I'm filming right now, obviously because you're watching the video, but I'm filming a whole batch of projects now. And the number of times, because I prep everything and lay it all out in advance, I need to keep swapping this now and moving on to the next project. That's how much I've used it. Love it. Right, that was the Blossom Bunch punch into some sweet sugar plum. So I've got my sponge and I'm just going to come round, can't pick it up, and sponge up the edges of these flowers. Now it's not going to make a massive difference, it's going to make enough that you get some obvious, you can see that it's dimension, texture. I can't think of the words today. But the tone on tone stamping is lush. Love it. And then of course around the edge of that, move those out of the way. It's my thick, I love this. This is the insert for the clear block caddy. You can buy a special holder for our clear blocks, and these are the sponge inserts that are in there because it's empty when it arrives, but it's got these and they're brilliant. Love them. That's my mini glue dots. I have one off to one side that I keep my paper piercers in. Just grab it. So I keep my paper piercers in that one. And this one is for one of our really big blocks. What's that one? So that's the gap for the E block. And obviously, because that's our biggest block, there's a sponge mat that size. Awesome. Anyway, definitely the clear block caddy is brilliant. Mine sits under my desk. And when I'm doing a lot of filming, I get lots of blocks out ready to work with. And having it under the desk is marvellous. Right, basic pearls. Oh, I don't think I want this. No, I want the bigger one. Into the middle, and let's start lifting everything up. Clear DVD case. Gotta love a storage solution. Right, 3D foam, dimensionals for the back of this. And I've no idea if I've got a front or a back now, so I actually think that's the prettier side. No, but I could cover that up. Right, I'm going to put that there in the middle. Mini glue dot there and up to one side, and that's my succulent garden tent made. I hope you like it. Anyway, Thank you ever so much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you soon.